In today's video, I'm going to be shining the light on the blind spot that has you worried that you may need to settle for less, that has you lower your standards, or has you tolerating things that you know aren't good for you when it comes to relationship. Plus, I'll be giving you the two keys that to pay attention to that have the power to turn these hidden blind spots into strength. So make sure you have something to take notes with and be ready to listen to learn. So welcome to part 3 of my complimentary 6-part series, Shine the Light on What's Holding You Back from Love, the 6 surprising reasons conscious women struggle. I'm Gabriella Taylor. I'm a relationship specialist. I'm a minister, and I'm the founder of Extraordinary Love Transformational Educational Programs. If you've fallen in love, if you've had your heart broken, or you've never been in love, yet you yearn for conscious, committed relationship, you are in the right place. So I want to start with asking you some questions. I'm curious about something. So do you ever wonder why, given how committed you are to love, you keep attracting to people that aren't good for your heart, or you just don't attract anyone at all? Or why is it that you don't know how to stay with one person? You're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or maybe you stay too long. Or perhaps why is it that you still have a hard time knowing who or even how to trust? Why is it that you still struggle with boundaries? Do you ever wonder why you keep doing the same thing over and over again? Why the face may change, but the problems remain the same? Maybe the skills that you've used to create success in the world just don't work when it comes to love and intimacy. Of course, you don't want to settle, nor do you want to be alone. You already have a beautiful life. Yet, given how much work you've already done on yourself, you wonder why is it that attracting love or being in a relationship, why does it feel so elusive? So if you've wondered any of these things, you are in the right place, because I have dedicated my entire professional career and honestly my personal life to discovering why this is. So I'm here to give you the keys to begin shining the light on what's been happening behind the scenes, running in the background, causing your relationship distress. So let's dive into blind spot number 3, which is all about uncovering the spoken and unspoken messages that taught you what to expect, what to settle for, and what to tolerate in love. So let's unpack this a little bit. So when you were young, your perceptions of relationship were formed by observing your parents or your primary caregivers, by observing what was going on in the culture around you, what society modeled, and so therefore, whatever was modeled for you, what you were shown about love and relationship, it's what you grew to believe was reality. And this is normal. This is what we all do. I call this your intimacy model. Your intimacy model contains subconscious rules about lovability, about your worth, about how to get close to someone, what it means to get close to someone, what it'll cost you. And this is what we're here today to do, to become conscious of these key blind spots that have kept you unhappy in love, having to do with your intimacy model. So let's just slow down for a little bit here. So think about what your mother taught you about being a woman. Did she see you for who you were or who she wanted you to be? Did she teach you to tolerate mistreatment or to settle for crumbs? Did she teach you that a woman's worth was in how much she gave or how beautiful or sexy she was? Or that a woman belonged in the background? Or were women revered, emotionally manipulative and demanding? So just thinking about what is it that your mom modeled for you having to do with what it meant to be a woman. And then think about how most women unconsciously marry their fathers if they're in a hetero relationship, who he was, the opposite of who he was, or who they wanted him to be. We learn to tolerate and expect behavior that was modeled for us. So this is blind spot number 3. Your intimacy model programmed your unconscious mind with what to expect, what to settle for, and what to tolerate in love. And it is comprised of what you saw and what the messages were that you received. So let's break this down a little bit. So your intimacy model, it has two parts. And these two key areas, once you understand them, by seeing them, they actually have the power to turn things around when you pay attention to how you were effectively programmed in these particular ways. So number one, the first part of your intimacy model, start thinking about what you saw playing out in the world around you as you were a child. What is it that you saw? This is objective, it's what you witnessed. What did you see your parents and caregivers doing? What did you hear? What did they model through their actions and words when it came to love, fidelity, honesty, boundaries, trust, relationships in general? So, just thinking about part one is what you saw. And then part two of your intimacy model, depending on what you saw, you then received spoken and unspoken messages from the people and culture around you as to what it meant to show love, to receive love, to be worthy of love. And these messages left powerful, powerful impressions upon your young forming psyche, whether they were verbalized or not. So you might be wondering, okay, I get it, but why does this matter now? Isn't the past the past? How does it affect my relationships today? Well, what I found is we want to look at how your intimacy model is currently influencing your experience of frustration or confusion or whatever else it is that you're experiencing in your relationships, whether it's emotional drama, breakdown, no relationships at all, or why there might be an absence of eligible partners. So when a younger part of you is stuck or frozen in time, and we talked about this emotional gap in the last video, you may very well be playing out the old, deeply held beliefs about intimacy that you learned, which were actually probably misunderstandings about yourself, your lovability, and how to get close to someone else. So even though many of these beliefs are untrue, they still govern your relationships by keeping you within the familiarity of your comfort zone. In order to cope in a world that gave you messages that maybe it wasn't safe to love, or that you needed to be different from how you were, to be accepted, or that showed you that you're on your own, you adapted. And you adapted by reenacting the model that was given to you. And this is what keeps you stuck in your comfort zone, doing the same thing over and over again, yet hoping for different results. In the work that I do with women, we dive deep into making conscious the intimacy model. So it frees up all this stuck energy to be channeled into healthy, flourishing, vibrant relationships. So for now, here's a journal exercise. So take a moment and think about when you were growing up, how did you see men, women, or relationships? How were they perceived? How were they seen in your home? What did you see based on how they were perceived? What did you see your parents, your caregivers settling for, complaining about? What did you hear? What did they model through their words, through their actions, through their behaviors? What were the expectations of how men or women or relationships should be? So now see if you can connect the dots here. When you look at what you just wrote down, and take a moment to pause this video if you need more time. So when you take a moment to write down what you saw, what the messages were that you received, when you look at this, ask yourself, how might this be reflecting or influencing one of my current struggles with relationships today? So taking a moment to connect the dots, how did what you see, what were the messages you received, how might they be influencing or reflecting a current problem that you're experiencing in your relationships today? So I invite you to share your biggest takeaway from this. I would love to hear. And if you're ready to go deeper, please sign up for my Extraordinary Love Program waitlist, where I show you how to create a relationship that mirrors your light, not your shadow. And if you know a woman that this could serve, please forward this to her now. And I will see you in the next video, where I will give you the one key piece that honestly, it is a total game changer in your ability to manifest your vision of love. I teach this all the time in my programs, and the consistent feedback is, oh my gosh, I've never seen it that way. So I hope to see you in the next video. And until then, take care.